What if God asked you to love the very person who would destroy your life? Not forgive them, not pray for them, but bind your future to them, knowing they would betray you. A command so radical that obedience would cost you your reputation, your peace, and everything you thought love was supposed to be. Stay with me, because before this story ends, you will discover a truth about God's love that may completely change how you understand grace. Elian walked the wind-scorched plains of Betrayal, a land once alive with worship, now hollowed by spiritual decay. Altars to false gods dotted the hills. Songs of devotion had been replaced by rituals of self-indulgence. The people had not rejected God loudly. They had simply forgotten him. And in that silence, God spoke. But this was not a call that would make Elian famous. It was a call that would make him misunderstood for the rest of his life. The voice of the Eternal came without comfort, without explanation. Go, take for yourself a woman known for her unfaithfulness. Unite your life to hers. For this land has betrayed me. It stunned heaven. It scandalized earth. God did not ask Elian to preach repentance. He asked him to become the message. Elian did not argue. He did not flee. He said yes. A yes that would wound him deeply and reveal God's heart completely. Every city has a woman people whisper about. Mara was that woman. In every corner of Betrayal, her name carried shame. Her past followed her like dust in the wind. She had known abandonment, exploitation, choices born from survival, not hope. She was not the woman anyone dreamed of marrying, and yet she was the woman God chose. Elian first saw her near the lower markets, where broken lives were traded quietly. Her eyes were distant, guarded the eyes of someone who had learned not to trust kindness. People whispered as she passed, but Elian did not look away. He saw beyond her history. He saw what God intended to restore. And here is the scandal: God did not avoid her past. He chose her because of it. When Elian married Mara, the city erupted in disbelief. The prophet had disgraced himself, or so they thought. This marriage was never meant to make sense. It was meant to make people uncomfortable. Their union was not private. It was prophetic. Children were born, and each name carried a warning. Zethar, scattered seed. Neriah, mercy, withheld. Amrel, no longer mine. Each name echoed through the streets like a bell of judgment. But behind closed doors, something deeper unfolded. Elian loved Mara patiently, deliberately, sacrificially, not because she deserved it, but because God does the same. But the love Elian gave would soon be tested in the cruelest way possible. This is where most people would walk away, and no one would blame them. Mara left. She abandoned her home, her children, her husband. She returned to the life that had once consumed her. Elian's house became a monument of absence. The pain he felt was more than personal. It was prophetic. He tasted what God had tasted for generations, the agony of loving someone who chooses destruction. The city mocked him. The man who spoke for God could not even keep his family together. But heaven was watching. Because betrayal was not the ending. It was the setup. Time passed. Elian waited. He prayed. He wept. He hoped. God was silent. Silence is often more painful than betrayal. Not absent, but preparing. In the stillness, Elian learned a hard truth. Love does not disappear when rejected. It deepens. And then God spoke again, not with comfort, with another command. Go, love her again, the one who humiliated you, the one who chose chains over covenant. If betrayal was the wound, this moment revealed the depth of love. Mara had fallen far. She was no longer free. Sold, used, forgotten. Elian found her in a crowded trading square, where human worth was measured in coin. He did not accuse her. He did not shame her. He paid the price. Every piece of silver declared, "You are worth redeeming." When Mara looked up and recognized him, everything broke. This was not a transaction. This was a ransom. "You will be mine again, not as property, as restored." When Elian brought Mara home, everything changed. His suffering had meaning. His obedience had purpose. This was never only about him. It was about revealing a God who pays to reclaim, not to punish. A God who loves not because we deserve it, but because he chooses to. And here's the truth that makes this story impossible to forget. Elian's love was only a shadow of something greater. Centuries have passed. Empires have risen and fallen. But the story breathes still, because we are still wandering, still betraying, still needing redemption, and God is still pursuing. No fall is final. No failure is fatal. No soul is beyond reach. If God loved you the way Elian loved Mara, would you dare to come back? God is still rescuing the broken, and he never gives up on his own.